Hello everyone, my name is Saroj Bhangare. Today's date is the 16th June 2022. Today's video topic is the cell biology and the action of to drug action of mechanism. So, what is the cell biology? A cell is defined as the smallest basic unit of the life that responsible for all the life process. The cell are the structural, functional, and biological unit for the all living being. A cell can be replicate itself the independently. Hence, they are known as the building block of life. So, each what is the cell? Cell is a structural functional unit of life, and the study of the cell from the basic structure basic structure of the function that cell organelle and called as a cell biology. The Robert Hooke was the first biologist who was discovered the cell. The all organisms are made of from the cell. They may be of the single cell or the many cell. The mycoplasm are the smallest known cell. The cell are the building block of all living being. They provide a structure to the body and convert the nutrient taken from the food into the energy. The cell are complex. Their component perform various functions in the organism. So, discovery of the cell. The discovery of the cell is one of the remarkable advancement in the field of the science. It is help us know that the organism are made of cell, and this cell can help in the carrying out various life process. The who discovered Robert Hooke discovered the cell in 1965. Robert Hooke observed the piece of the bottle cork under the compound microscope and noticed the structure that reminded him the small rooms. So, characteristic of the cell. Cell provide a structure and support to the body of the organism. The cell interior is organized into the different individual organelles surrounded by the separate membrane. The nucleus holds genetic information necessary for the reproduction and the cell growth. Every cell has a one nucleus and membrane bounded organelle in the cytoplasm. Mitochondria, a double membrane bound organelle, is mainly responsible for the energy transaction vital for the survival of the cell. So, type of the cell. So, first type is the prokaryotic and second type is the eukaryotic. The prokaryotic cell is a prokaryotic cell have no nucleus. Some prokaryotic such as the bacteria have a region with the cell where the genetic material is freely suspended. So, this region is called as a nucleotide. They are single cell microorganism. Example include the bacteria and the cyanobacteria. The cell size range from the 0.1 to the 0.5 un in a diameter. The hereditary material can be either by the DNA or RNA. The prokaryotic generally reproduced by the binary fusion, a form of asexual reproduction. They are also known as the conjugation, which is obtained in the prokaryotic or a sexual reproduction. So, next is the eukaryotic cell. Eukaryotic cell are the characteristic by the true nucleus. The size of the cell range is 10 to 100 un diameter. The broad category involve the plant, fungi, protozoan, and the animal. The plasma membrane is responsible for the monitoring the transport of the nutrient and the electrolyte in and out of the cell. It is also responsible for the cell and cell communication. They reproduce sexually as well as asexually. There are some contrasting features between the plant and the animal cell. For example, the plant cell contain the chloroplast, central vasculus, and other plastid, whereas the animal cell do not. So, Cell structure. First is the cell membrane. The cell membrane support and protect the cell. It contains the movement of the substance in the out of the cell. So next is the cell wall. The cell wall is the most prominent part of the plant cell structure. It is the made up of the cellulose and a hemicellulose and the pectin. So next is the cytoplasm. The cytoplasm is a thick clear jelly like substance present inside the cell membrane, and the most chemical reaction within the cell take the place in the cytoplasm. Next is the nucleus. The nucleus contain the hereditary material for the cell, the DNA. It send the signals to the cell to grow, mature and divided and the die. The nucleus is surrounded by the nuclear envelope that separate the DNA from the rest of the cell. So next is the cell organelle. The cell are composed of various cell organelles that perform the certain specific function to the carry out the life process. So their function. Nucleus. The nucleus is the site of the ribosome synthesis. Nuclear membrane. The nuclear membrane protect the nucleus by the forming of boundary between for the nucleus and the cell organelle. The chromosome. The chromosome play a crucial role in the determining the sex of the individual. Each human cell contains 23 pairs of the chromosome. The next is the endoplasmic reticulum. The endoplasmic reticulum is involved in the transportation of the substance throughout the cell. So next is the Golgi bodies. The Golgi bodies are called as the cell post office as it is involved the transportation of the material within the cell. Ribosome. The ribosome are the protein synthesis of the cell. Mitochondria. The mitochondria is called as the powerhouse of the cell. Is called as because the product produce the ATP cell energy. Next is the ribosome. Ribosome protect by the foreign bodies entering in the cell and the help cell is a renewal. Next is the chloroplast. Chloroplast they are primary organelle for the photosynthesis, and the vasculae. The vasculae store food, water and other waste material in the cell. So next is a mechanism of action is the metformin. The metformin mechanism action are the unique from the other classes of oral anti-hyperglycemic drug. The metformin decrease the blood glucose level by decreasing the hepatic glucose production, also called as the decreasing the intestinal absorption of the glucose and increasing the insulin sensitivity by the increasing peripheral glucose uptake and the utilization. It is well established that the metformin inhibit mitochondrial complex first activity, and it has since the generally post that the potent anti-diabetic effect occurs through this mechanism. The above process lead to the decrease in blood glucose, managing type 2B diabetes and exerting positive effect of the glycemic control. After the injection, the organic cation transporter first is responsible for the uptake of the metformin into the hepatocyte. So in this intestine, the metformin increase the anaerobic glucose metabolism in enterocyte, leading the reduced net glucose uptake, the increased delivery of the lactate to the liver. So next is the mechanism action of the amoxicillin. The amoxicillin is inhibit the penicillin binding protein 1 and other high molecular weight penicillin binding protein. So the penicillin bind protein are responsible for the glycotransferase and the transpeptidase reaction. This is a reaction that lead the cross linking of the D-aniline and the aspartic acid in bacterial cell wall. Without the action of penicillin binding protein, bacteria regulate the autolytic enzyme and the enable to the build and repair the cell wall and leading bacterial action. So this information about the cell biology and the mechanism action of the metformin and amoxicillin. Thank you.